What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for coming back to another video, and in today's video we are talking about Friday. So if you have no idea what Friday is about, it stars Ice Cube and Chris Tucker, and pretty much the whole premise of the film is you got two guys that have nothing else to do on this day, and they decide to just smoke some weed, hang out, and they end up getting into some trouble. I won't really get into the spoilers, as I usually don't, but yeah, before I get too deep into the review, I'll just say that, yeah, this was a very nostalgic film for me. I hadn't watched it in many years, so to rewatch it was definitely nice and a fun time. A lot of the humor still holds up for me. I just remember this movie playing like at a bunch of people's houses when I would grow up. It was always on. I felt like on TV or just random different things like that. And yeah, it's just a movie I remember seeing tons and tons and tons of times growing up. The jokes would always be said at school amongst my friends. And yeah, this is just one of those movies that always stuck with me as I grew up. There's definitely a lot of iconic lines too that have become memes over the years, and you know, GIFs and all that kind of stuff. So GIFs, however you pronounce it. But yeah, so let's talk about Friday. Right out of the gate, I'll go ahead and say that as much as I have a nostalgic attachment to this movie and a lot of the humor does work for me, going back and rewatching it, it wasn't as funny as I remember. And as far as an overall film, it could be a little boring at times, and it's not as good as I remember. Though I never remembered it being some sort of like amazing film, you know what I mean? I just remember it being like a solid, funny, good comedy. And I think that it still very much is. I think a lot of the stoner buddy humor still works. You know, there are some stereotypical kind of things that are in there that, you know, they probably wouldn't put in a film today. But, you know, it didn't really ruin it for me upon rewatch. There are some obnoxious elements too, some characters and just some elements of the film that are just a little over the top and obnoxious, and it kind of like takes you out of like really being fully engaged with the film. At least it did for me. But for the most part, I really enjoy Ice Cube and Chris Tucker in this film. Easily some of the best Chris Tucker moments ever on screen are in this movie. I'd be surprised if you haven't seen this if you're a Chris Tucker fan. As far as Ice Cube goes, it's really crazy to see how much he's grown as an actor compared to this film. His performance in this film is just alright, you know, but you can definitely tell over the years that he's become a much stronger actor. So it was nice to go back and rewatch and see some of his early stepping stones of him as an actor. I really don't have too much to say in this review, if I'm completely honest. I just wanted to add this to the channel just to, you know, add more videos. But I think the movie still holds up in a lot of ways. There's definitely a lot of elements that it doesn't hold up. You know, I don't think this movie's for everybody. I think you got to know what kind of movie you're going into. You know, you could probably go watch the trailer, and if it doesn't make you laugh, then if you've never seen it before, you probably just want to keep on that path that you haven't seen it before. But you know, this is one of those movies that I just remember growing up watching tons of time. The jokes just are stuck with my mind. There's so many little funny moments. And there's, you know, like I said, going back and rewatching it, there's a lot about it that does not work. But yeah, I'm curious. What did you guys think of Friday growing up? Did you like the sequels more than the first one? I know I liked the first one more than the sequels. You know, this is one of my favorite Chris Tucker films, I think. His portrayal in this movie is just so hilarious. But, you know, it's just classic Chris Tucker. But like I mentioned, this movie is not for everybody. So this review is, you know, as much as it kind of teetering on nostalgia, as well as going back and recognizing that as a movie, it's not really that strong. It doesn't really have your typical 3-act structure that's like, you know, like the movie kind of ends and you're just like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, it's not crazy. It's not really like a great time, but it's a good, solid comedy film that I have nostalgic attachment to. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, but if that sounds like your kind of movie, like a stoner buddy movie where these guys get in trouble, get into some trouble, I mean, then yeah, I would highly recommend checking it out just for that alone. But I just wanted to kind of make this review to kind of start a discussion with those of you who have seen it. Did you like Friday? Do you hate Friday? Does the comedy work for you? Does it not work for you? You know, let me know all that down in the comments below, guys. I would really appreciate it. And make sure you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Share this with other people, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!
You got knocked the fuck out, man! Give me my goddamn money!